One of the big topics expected at this year's UN General Assembly is Myanmar. Bangladesh says it plans to accuse Aung San Suu Kyi's government of ethnic cleansing of Rohingya. Aung San Suu Kyi has cancelled her trip to the United Nations to address security challenges at home. The UN estimates now more than 400,000 Rohingya refugees have crossed the border into Bangladesh. I'm now joined by Fred Burton, Chief Security Officer at geopolitical intelligence firm Stratfor. Sir, welcome to our show this Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
The United Nations obviously has a long list of issues to tackle, ranging from Pyongyang, the DPRK threat, Myanmar, Syria. What do you expect the UN meeting to achieve? What tangible progress can be made?
Well, it's been my experience from working these protective details that the real work is done in the hallways of the UN and in breakout sessions at various hotel rooms where staffers get together and visit with foreign delegations and discuss a range of issues. No doubt North Korea is going to be on the top of everyone's list. From the U.S. side, I have no doubt that Iran and Syria will also come into play, as well as what's taking place in Cuba with these sonic attacks on the American diplomats in Havana.
It's interesting you brought up the issue of hallway diplomacy and polo-side meetings. According to our reporting experience, things do happen there. On the other hand, what do you think of the role of the U.S.? U.S. President Donald Trump once called the UN body an irrelevant salon where people cannot get things done, yet he is going to the UN General Assembly and making a speech there on Tuesday. What can we expect from him?
It's hard to say when you look at exactly what President Trump might cover, but I would not be surprised to see him address North Korea and the threat in the South China Sea from that. Along with the border, I think the U.S.-Mexico border will be another issue that I would not be surprised to see him address, along with just the general chaos taking place in the Middle East, in Syria, and Iran.
Given the isolationist policy proposals and protectionist policies in terms of trade globally, how do you look at the role of the UN and this session in particular?
Well, I think that since this is President Trump's first UN visit, and based on some of his comments in the past, every word he says certainly will be scrutinized and game board and listened to very intently. But again, I think that the real work will be done in the shadows, in the hotel rooms, in the bilateral meetings, and over dinner, like all diplomatic kind of discourses take place.
And finally, what do you think of the role of China?
Well, I think that's going to be interesting to see exactly who is in the meeting. Having been an agent and protected many foreign diplomats at these events, that's always the interesting aspect. Who is invited to the meeting and obviously the discussion points.